So the book that I'm going to talk about today is one of these comics that were chosen for me. And I think of myself as a Transformers person, but I
Mm-hmm.
realize that in recent years I've been way more vocal about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I also want to say that Tumblr has ruined me forever because I have to concentrate on saying their name because I want to say Tootin' Teenage Needle Teetles every time. Every time because of that one dumb Tumblr shit post from like 10 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
I'm just
Uh-huh.
like, my little needle teedle beetle babies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this book that I was given is Saturday Morning Adventures Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going in cynical and skeptical. I'm like, damn, number 10 in the middle of a run. I'm not going to know what's going on. This is
Mm-hmm.
so obnoxious. Feeling. So this is story by Erik Burnham, art by Dan Schoening, letters by Ed. Did I write this name down right? I'm going to double check the
Dukeshire.
credits.
It should be
Dukeshire.
Dukeshire.
Google corrected it to Dukeshirt, and I'm like, that can't be right.
Yeah.
Colors by Luis Antonio Delgado. So, first of all, this book delivered on its promise because it is a Saturday morning cartoon. It's like this run is based off of or inspired by the 80s animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, Teetle Beetle Needle Teetles. And it is just like it understood the assignment. So right away, first page, April O'Neil is giving us a one-page recap of what happened in previous issues, which is great because this story arc, this issue, is number 2 of 3. It's like the middle
Mm.
issue of a trilogy, and I'm like, I'm not gonna know what's going on. This is so unfair. I just want to like relax with some turtles. Turns out it's great because they understand that this is supposed to be a book that you can
Mm-hmm.
jump into and just understand. So April does her little like exposition bit through the framing device of her giving a news report. So I'm like, all right, I'm caught up. For reasons, Shredder and Leonardo have been sent back in time because Shredder has a sword that can cut through space-time, and now they're in feudal Japan. So right off,
Love it.
So right off the bat, I'm like, yes, hell yes. And so the other 3 turtles are like trying to figure out how to get Leo home. Leo
Mm-hmm.
and Shredder. I just want to say, Shredder in this book, so good. Like such a good campy 80s villain. They totally nailed the tone of this show and like the style of cartoon that you're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Almost immediately, Shredder's like, I don't care what time we're in, I can still kill you. Ha 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 ha. And then they almost immediately run into a bunch of like feudal Japanese warlords. And Shredder has like, there's a moment of dialogue where you can see he's quick thinking, where he's just like, he has to figure out how to explain Leonardo or else this is going to be derailed really quickly. So he's like, this Kappa attacked me. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Of course.
Like, because a cat, like, you know, a Kappa is a creature from Japanese like yokai mythology. It looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And I'm like, did the creators of TMNT go this deep and like choose this iconography? I don't even care. That's genius. So,
Yeah.
but like with the context clues, they didn't like explain what a kappa was, but I thought it was really well done where it's like, okay, you're trusting your audience to either Google that because it's 2023 and we have computer phones
Mm-hmm.
or to pick up on the context clues of being like, oh, this is an explanation that these people in this time period will accept as real. So then it's all like hijinks of Leonardo trying to figure out like what the hell is going on and why he's suddenly tied up, and Shredder finds a more powerful sword that can also get him back through space-time. And meanwhile, like I just am not up enough on TMNT lore to be able to articulate very clearly the character Renee or Renette, who's like the time traveler from the future who like pops in randomly to like tell the turtles about. All right, so she shows up and she's like, guys, I have a message for you. Wait, no, I don't. What time is it? What year is it? Have we met already? And it was so like, I just really loved that she was allowed to be a space case. I'm like, yes, this would be me as a time traveler. Be like, hold on a minute, wait. Where, what? Where am I? Like, I'm like that normally. So
yeah, sure.
it was delightful. So they were like, oh, this is great. Are you here to help us save Leo? And she's like, no, what are you talking about? And Raphael, my boy, my angry, grumpy boy, is just like, nailed it right away. He has like a quick thinking moment where he's like, well, if you need all four of us, then clearly it's within your job description to help us get Leo back. So it's like this whole like Deus Ex Machina thing with like getting them all back home. At the end of the issue, Shredder and Leo are both back home, and we had like a fun side romp into feudal Japan. And it was honestly like, this is how serial comics should be. Like when you see an issue number and you're not going to pick it up because you're like, I haven't been reading this, I can't jump in at issue 20. That's unfortunate. But if you are like IDW and you consider that you want your comic book to be something that anyone could pick up, you do things like exposition that's not too overburdened. And then people like me can jump in and be like, I do want to read this little Saturday morning cartoon. It is so cute. So it was just delightful. I don't necessarily think I would like read this month to month, but it's nice to know now that this is an option if I'm like, I really just want like a 10-minute turtle adventure that I don't need to think about too hard. This is it. I might like see if the library has some trades and see what's what. Because if you like turtles, check out this series. It is not intimidating, I promise.
Yeah, I think Nick had told me about this a short while back on an episode, saying that there's a whole naming convention issue of like Saturday morning something something something. There's like 4 or 5 of them or something, and it can be a little confusing if you're trying to find like specific issues. But to your point, I think the idea is that it's supposed to be just like the TV show, where you're like, you don't have to watch it every single week. You could just pick up an issue or pick up an episode if you're watching on TV, and it'll be fine. It'll work. It's just a good turtle story. So I'm glad to hear that another person has jumped in and had the exact same experience. So that's like re-solidifying things. I appreciate that.
Yeah, cowabunga.
Hell yeah.
IDW's been really good at they have a few series under their Saturday morning brand. Like Dungeons and Dragons is another one I think that they put out. So yeah, they make it feel like it's, you could just jump in. It's mainly geared for a younger audience, but like anybody can kind of jump in. So
that's the best kind of all ages book though.